My name is Barb Jones, and I was born and raised in Williams Lake, which is located in the central interior of BC, also affectionately known as the Puddle. There are 11,000 people living within city limits, but including the outlying areas, the population grows to about 25,000 people. It's been a great community to grow up in and also raise my children, who are now 22, 19, and 17 years old. It turns out our region has two seasons, winter and fire season. This year, Williams Lake and many of our outlying communities were evacuated due to wildfires. We're told this could be our new normal, which is a scary thought and adds an uneasy feeling to the community. But let me show you a place I've spent a considerable amount of time, both professionally and personally. My home away from home, if you will, the courthouse, and the start of my journey in wanting to learn to deal with conflict effectively. I left an unhealthy relationship in 2004. At this time in my life, I had very few tools for dealing with conflict. As a result, I made a lot of concessions to keep the peace during my separation, but found that many of the conditions I agreed to did not work for me or my children. I've been in and out of family court ever since. Looking back, it was the fear of losing our relationships with our children that fueled our conflict, and my ex and I also did not see eye to eye on any aspect of parenting. Separation from loved ones threatens basic human needs for intimacy and connection, and it is the heart of many interpersonal conflicts. At the courthouse, I saw many families experiencing similar situations. Eventually, I decided not to have a lawyer represent me. I realize now in that moment I stopped being a victim and I began to find my voice. I have since represented myself in 2 separate trials. One benefit of not paying lawyer fees was that I was able to invest my resources into my education, and I graduated with my Bachelor of Social Work in 2009 at Thompson Rivers University. I then worked as a child protection social worker for the Ministry of Children and Family Development on the Aboriginal team. My area stretched west of Williams Lake from the Fraser River to the top of the Bella Coola Hill on Highway 20. Child protection is a highly pressurized work environment, and I dealt with complex and emotional family matters and highly political First Nations communities. I had to be accountable to Chief and Council, the families, and MCFD in determining Section 13 concerns under the legislation of the Child, Family, and Community Services Act. It was interesting to be on the other side of the power wheel in court. Now I was acting on behalf of the director with an incredible amount of power in the families' lives. I had a lot of empathy for the families that I worked with because I knew what it was like to fear losing your children. As much as I tried to work in a cooperative manner with the families, there were times when our protection mandate and the families' needs conflicted. Aboriginal family group conferencing and mediation services were used, and I became interested in mediation at this time. I'm currently working at the Caribou Friendship Society as the coordinator of their pregnancy outreach program. Although this is a less stressful work environment, I still deal with conflict with clients and occasionally staff. Learning to deal with conflict is a recurring theme in my life. Carl Jung says, "What you resist persists." So once I stopped resisting conflict, I became less afraid of it. One of the most important things I learned from working as a child protection social worker was to lean into the discomfort of a situation. To me, that meant staying curious about what was happening in the moment and not shrink away from it. Where do I go from here? I'm not sure. I want to advance my communication skills and conflict competencies. I want to help people experiencing family conflict in a way that's empowering and constructive, and I plan to explore family and child protection mediation options. But I'm also excited to see what other opportunities my education may bring my way.